And welcome into the PHNX Sun Devils show, guys. Shout out to OG's Brands, the official sponsor of Flavoring Fridays. Head on over to ogsbrands.com to see their full lineup, including their two newest gummies, the OG's Naturals and the Big OG's, guys, and find out where you can purchase. Again, welcome into the PHNX Sun Devils show. I am Anthony Totri. We got Erik Ruby back in the passenger seat today. We got DJ Danielle making all the magic happen behind the mat. Guys, it is Friday. If you're new here, do us a solid. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and drop a 5-star review. Let us know what you like about this podcast, because we got a lot to get into today. We've obviously got Hot or Not at the tail end of the show, and
Donald's
right on
excited
cue.
For that.
Right on cue, we got Donald, we got JJ in the chat, spawning and immediately talking about Arizona State basketball.
Arizona State basketball? What?
JJ is just an ASU basketball fiend at this point. Look, we will talk ASU hoops in a little bit, but we're going to kick things off talking about Arizona State football, something that we've obviously talked a whole hell of a lot about over the last few months, and as it relates to the transfer portal and potentially Arizona State going out pursuing another transfer target, this time a former Washington offensive lineman. Jalen Klemm, who entered the portal, is also a former Kansas State offensive lineman, and he participated in 7 games as a Washington backup left tackle last fall. We obviously know the Washington offensive line, one of the best groups in the nation. Klemm on a visit to Arizona State this weekend. Just immediate thoughts on ASU potentially pursuing an offensive lineman that was obviously, you know, in the national championship game not too long ago.
I mean, listen, no matter what, offensive linemen, you can never have enough of them.
Yeah.
Especially big bodies going into the Big 12 with a quarterback that had an injury problem last year and is a little bit smaller in frame. I'm all for beefing up the line, and this is somebody that if they are able to get a commitment from him, you could probably slot him in as a starter, even though he wasn't starting a majority of the games over in Washington. And this is somebody who, coming in as a prospect, was a lot higher rated, and as far as rankings goes, like he was a 4-star as a prospect, he's a 3-star now as a transfer. Yeah. But that's, again, a buy low candidate type of guy, like invest in us, come here to Arizona State, we're going to get you back to where you need to be. And listen, with Arizona State and where they are, you can look at any position room except for maybe running back and say, why not? Yeah. Add talent at this point. So if they can grab somebody who has had experience on a big stage, playing in big games for a really good program, and offer them a bigger role and more buy-in here, and it would be a great fit if it does happen to come together. But he's gonna be sought after. Like, even though he's not as high of a star ranking now as he was when he was recruited, this guy's still gonna have plenty of big schools wanting his services. Yeah, I mean, he did just enter the portal a few days ago, from everything that I had seen. One of, I believe, 16 players at the very least from Washington that have entered the portal. So they've had obviously a rough go of it since they've hired Jed Fish, with a lot of former players entering the portal. And I believe 16 is the number that I saw, but it could be more. But yeah, Jalen Klemm, I think when you're talking about Arizona State's roster and adding at certain positions, I know we spoke to Kenny Dillingham not too long ago, and he was on record pretty much saying that, you know, they are going to be pretty selective with what they do here throughout the rest of the offseason, just until that spring transfer portal opens. So I wouldn't be at all surprised if Klemm was a target. If, you know, by Monday he is an Arizona State Sun Devil, that would be awesome. I mean, that'd be best case scenario. It would be. But again, like you said, he will have options open. And you look at just tentatively what Klemm would look like on this offensive line. I think you probably plug and play Klemm at that left tackle spot. Played left tackle a little bit at Washington last season. You kick over Sean Na, who was a freshman last year, had some really good
really good games as a tackle for ASU. I think you probably kick him to the right tackle spot. That leaves you with Leaf starting at center. You've got your tackles kind of plug and played already. Ben Coleman coming back for ASU, didn't play last season, would be a huge, probably a starter right there along one of those guard spots. And then that's without even really mentioning any of the additions that ASU got from the transfer portal already, like Josh Atkins, Joey Sua. That again, I think your offensive line, if you are able to add Klemm, whether he is somebody that starts immediately, we talk about the importance of depth on really good rosters, and it's a position that ASU didn't have enough depth on last season.
No, and injuries were rampant, and that was part of the reason why they didn't have enough depth. Yeah. But again, with what they want to do, and especially in a Kenny Dillingham offense where they're going to be focusing on running the ball a lot to kind of open things up, you need not only stability there, but you need somebody who can come in and change a game.
Yeah.
And if he can come in and move some guys around, like that's just game-changing stuff. Now, not to be the bearer of bad news, but looking at things, his father, right? Like these are all good things. I'm going to hit you with the bad thing.
You're going to tell me Oregon.
God damn it, I hate you. Anyway, his father, offensive lineman in Hawaii, then he played in the league for about 5-6 seasons, and he was an offensive line coach at SMU, UCLA for the Steelers. But right now, he's an associate head coach at Oregon.
Yeah.
Which is, I don't know if it's a crystal ball. I'm not going to get my my 24/7 on and say crystal ball predictions or anything like that. But you'd have to imagine that a school like Oregon is getting a pretty good look from him just because of his father. But I mean, as we saw with Cole Martin,
I was just about to say,
it doesn't matter if your dad's coaching at Oregon. You still want to come to Tempe, baby.
And I think again, part of it in I could be totally wrong on this, but yes, there is the immediate thought of like, oh, that would be cool to like go play with your dad, right?
But there's also the thought of like not wanting to do that.
Well, there's that exactly. Right. There's that side of things that I don't think gets talked about enough right now. Not just with a guy like Klemm, but really athletes all over, right? There's the immediate. You see LeBron and Bronny of like, oh, you want to play with your dad? Like that'd be cool. That'd be legendary, right?
Right.
But there's also the idea of like, nah, like I want to go carve out my own path. I want to do my own thing.
Yeah.
Without having to rely on what my dad's able to do. And I think Klemm has been able to do that already, right? Going from a Kansas State to a Washington and potentially being an addition for Arizona State. You talk about Kenny Dillingham and the culture that he's trying to build here, literally brick by brick, day by day. It starts with getting guys that know how to win. And you look at the places that Kenny has gotten some of the talent just this past offseason, right? Cole Martin from Oregon, LaTerrence Welch from LSU, Marcuston Douglas from FSU, right? You bring over, let's say it is a Jalen Klemm from Washington, right? You're getting guys from programs that recently have been top tier winning teams. They know how to win. And that's something that Dilly talked about a lot last season is they were improving every single game. But when it came down to putting the game away, they just didn't know how to win yet. And bringing in guys specifically at positions of need that know how to win, I think would go a long way in furthering the culture. But also we talk about the whole iron sharpens iron thing, right?
Yeah.
You bring in, again, at a position of need, somebody that is able to elevate the game of the other offensive linemen.
Coming from a program that was just in the college football championship.
And not just that, but the offensive line won the Joe Moore Award.
Like
given to the best group of offensive linemen out there. And it is not just a 1 through 5 thing when it comes to the Joe Moore Award, right? Like I covered Notre Dame when Notre Dame's offensive line was winning that year over year. And it goes so much deeper than just the first 5 guys. It is a level of we are the best group in the nation at this one specific job. And for ASU, even at the end of the offseason, to just be like, yeah, we got one of those guys from that offensive line, that would be massive. I know initially when there was a Washington offensive lineman that entered the portal, we did a whole day kind of talking about what it would mean.
Right.
And so again, whether it be a Jalen Klemm or going out there and getting anybody else from one of those rosters, it means something that Kenny is working this late in the game to try and bolster a position of need.
I mean, it shows that he's not completely comfortable with where he's at, which I think for where the program is overall, you don't want somebody who's like, oh, wow, we improved. We should be better. Our position rooms are a lot more solid. I got my guys in there. Well, let me just kick my feet up and prepare for spring ball. No, you want somebody who's not satisfied. He's one of those guys. And I gave you the bad news with Papa Klemm being over at Oregon. Well, here's the good news, okay? One of the reasons why, players choose specific places is because they hear about coaches. And do you want to know who else was coaching in Oregon in 2022 along with Papa Klemm? That would be Kenny Dillingham.
There you go.
Right. So obviously everybody loves Kenny. Everybody that you talk to, every coach, every player, anybody around football, they're like, oh, Kenny, yeah. Oh, I talked to him once and he was my dude immediately.
Yeah.
So you would imagine that Dillingham and Papa Klemm have a good relationship. So now his son's in the transfer portal.
I love that you've just leaned into the Papa Klemm. That's what we're calling him.
It sounds right. What do we want me to call him? Adrian?
I mean, that's totally up to you. That's his name.
That is fair. That is fair. You make a good point there. No, but like if your son's in the transfer portal and he doesn't want to come to Oregon, let's say he wants to blaze his own trail, he doesn't want to come play under his dad for whatever reason, right?
Assuming that Oregon's even interested.
Exactly, which I think they would be. I don't think that a guy like this, I mean, maybe they're not as interested in giving him like a for sure starting role day one, but I would assume that most programs are going to be interested in a guy like this.
Yeah, and again, just to preface it, even if Klemm were to commit to Arizona State, Dilly's been big on not promising anything in terms of playing
Not
time.
as much a promise, but more like you can see the path, right? Like if you come to Arizona State, and it's the same thing with all these guys, like nobody's promised anything, but you have to imagine that if you're sitting down, Dilly's going to say, if you do everything right, we have a role for you.
Yeah.
It's up to you to get there, but if you do, we will have a spot for you. And I think with the offensive line, basically you just say, you come in, like you look around. If you think you're starting caliber, come in and prove it and you'll start. And if you're a guy like this, you might look around this team and go, I could start.
Yeah.
I could start and I could make an impact there on my own watch with somebody that maybe I don't want to play for my father, but I trust his opinion. I trust what he knows about football through a very long career. And maybe he raves about Kenny. I mean, obviously that's all speculation, but I have not heard from or met a person who has met this guy and went, you know what? Bad vibes.
Yeah.
Bad vibes.
Look,
and so I just don't see that happening.
When you think about this whole situation with transfer players and just kind of the state of college football, I feel like it's really easy to get lost in they're coming from this program and going to this program, right? And just seeing it as that, right? Oh, he's coming from Washington going to ASU, that's a step down, right? Or he's going from Washington to Alabama, that's a step up, right? Like it's super easy, and then to just leave it at that without really sinking your teeth into the entire situation, which Dilly has been big on trying to showcase everything that Arizona State has to offer right now. And I think if you zoom out, right, we are obviously very ingrained in the day-to-day of Arizona State. But if you take away all of that and you sit from the outside looking in, let's say you spent, 2 years ago, you were in Kansas, right? You were with Kansas State.
Yeah.
Then you transferred to Washington for a year, okay? You've been in some pretty doomy, gloomy places, right? Just in terms of...
And then you walk into Tempe.
In terms of, like, lifestyle, right? And mind you, I believe he's from the East Coast as well.
From Pennsylvania.
Right. So, again, you are, still dealing with that. You're talking about the weather. You're talking about the vibes. You're talking about the environment. So, you take a visit to Tempe. It's 65, 70 degrees, early February. You've got one of the youngest coaches in college football who is known for being super hyper energetic, right? Super personable, super relatable. You're talking to other transfers. Why did they want to come to ASU? Well, you've got a coach that's he's not going to lie to you. He's going to keep it 100 with you the entire time that you come here, okay? There's potential that you play early in your time. Mind you, he's got several years of eligibility left.
Yeah.
And you are, again, you're not necessarily living off of your father's success if you go to Oregon. You're still relatively close to your dad, right? Just a few states away. And you're in a beautiful place in Tempe. Like a situation like this makes a lot of sense. I feel like, especially given the fact that he has eligibility and time to work with this program.
But above all else, Short Bus with the $1.99 super chat. Show him the money.
Yeah.
Listen, Tempe's all great, but that NIL comes in key. And, I did a little research, very quick dive into Gibsonia, Pennsylvania. That's where the Klemm family hails from. Population of 2,785. I'm pretty sure my high school was almost that big.
That's crazy.
So he's gone. And again, like Pennsylvania is a beautiful place, but I mean the springs and the late winters and all that are not the same as they are over here. So you're right. He might walk in and fall in love with the place. And ASU kind of brings that for a lot of people, and you don't hear guys say it as often as they probably feel it, where they're like, oh man, I just want to come to Tempe because the program was the best for me. But like within that is just like, am I going to be happy here?
Yeah.
And if I'm going to be playing a lot on a team that, if this team turns this shit around this year, like makes a bowl game, good amount of wins, competes in the Big 12, these guys are going to all be credited for it. Obviously, Kenny's going to be at the head, but every single guy who transfers in and makes an impact, you're going to be looked at as somebody who was like, dang, like you came in when things were not sweet, when you really didn't have to, considering where you probably could have gone and the money that you could have gotten as well. Yeah. And now you're in here and you're turning everything around. And Donald says, just show him Mill Ave and he'll fall in love. Maybe. Like, I don't think that that's a non-factor.
I don't even think you need to do that, right? You talk about when it comes to these athletes, what do they want to do? They want to win, they want to have fun, they want to make money. Okay. For ASU, they can do part of the money thing, but not nearly to the level of some of the other places. So you really have to, in my estimation, lean into we're going to win and you guys are going to have fun here. Time. What did Kenny say the moment that he was at the podium for the very first time being introduced as the ASU head coach? If you want to win and work harder and have the most fun than anyone else in the country, you come to Arizona State. Nobody is going to work harder and have more fun than Sun Devils.
Yeah, and I think he's sticking to that even through a really hard season. And that's why you see so many key players returning. And if Kenny can make, I don't know if I can, losing fun, make as much fun out of their situation last year as possible is probably a better way to put it, then what's going to happen when things start turning around? And this guy's just going to capitalize on it. And you know he has that vision. And every time he sits down with somebody, he sells them on the vision. And when somebody's talking to you about that, and you could tell they're genuine and not just full of crap and trying to get you on their team, hey, we'll offer you a bunch of money. I want you here just because I want you here selfishly. Or, hey, we'll offer you some money. I'm going to give you a great place, a great situation. I'm going to pour myself into you, and we're going to make you better, and we're going to make the team better. And if in a year or two you need to leave because you found a better situation or the money situation's not working out for you, whatever it is, I will support you, I will shake your hand, and I will praise you on the way out. That's special.
Yeah. I mean, look, I think part of it also goes back to when some of these guys are on visits and the people that they are visiting with are former transfers. Right? You're looking at what ASU accomplished last season, right? And you look at it as a whole product. The team went 3-9, had a bowl ban that they, was self-imposed regardless. First year of the program. I feel like if you are an incoming transfer, potential transfer, you can immediately stop and look at the transfers last year. You look Cam Scadaboo, a dude went viral at points last season because of what he was able to do as a transfer for Arizona State. You look at Xavier Guillory, Jordan Tyson, two guys that hope to have bigger roles as a transfer this season. Okay, defensively, Trey Brown, another guy, Deshaun Mallory, who transferred in, had amazing career years at Arizona State, even with the team not having a dominant season the way they wanted to. But again, that was year one. You move on to year two. There's expected growth. And I think, again, you add a guy like Jalen Klemm, he could be a really, really important piece to Arizona State by the end of the weekend.
And I will say one last thing. We mentioned it at the beginning with kind of UW in a state of frenzy right now.
Yeah.
And he is their 7th offensive lineman to either enter the draft or the portal.
Yeah.
And so you're coming from a big program that all of a sudden was turned on its head because a coach decided to leave and then another coach decided to leave and come there. And you're probably looking around and going, do I want to go through that again? Look, I already was at Kansas State and I transferred to a big program. It was fine. Like I had a good career experience. I grew. I was part of the best unit in the nation. Okay, then everything got flipped on its head.
Yeah.
So am I going to go to a place that is going to offer me a bag at a big program and maybe that head coach leaves and now I'm in the transfer portal again a year from now and I really don't want to do that? Or do I want to just settle down? Yeah. Do I want to find a place that's going to, yes, take care of me financially, but also mentally, also physically, and then I don't have to worry about going, Okay, is Kenny going to leave next year? No. Is Kenny going to leave the year after that? No. Can I confidently say that if I come to this school and I stay here for the rest of my eligibility, that I will be under the same head coach and probably a majority of the same coaching staff? Yes.
Yeah.
And these guys aren't stupid. They're not just money-hungry people who are trying to screw other people over. Like they're trying to figure out what's best for them. And a lot of the times, I think they're starting to realize that, hey, going to a school where somebody is going to sell me on something and then dip the next minute just puts me in a bad spot.
Yeah.
And in a position where I might have to focus on entering the transfer portal and picking a school instead of working out, instead of focusing on my body and everything that I need to do to be the best player. So I don't think that, not just with Klemm, but with a lot of these guys who are leaving these big programs or these programs that have this massive amount of change, ASU has multiple different ways to appeal to them. And that loyalty factor in this era of college football is massive.
Yeah, you're absolutely
genuinely
right.
Massive.
Look, we're talking about, right, Jalen Klemm potentially coming to Arizona State.
Mm-hmm.
And I can't help but stop again and just realize that, isn't it crazy that everything going on over the last couple of months in college football is due to Nick Saban retiring?
Yeah, it was really a domino effect.
Like Nick Saban retiring, opening up that job at Alabama, what it did to that roster in the transfer portal. Obviously, Kalen DeBoer leaving his spot in Washington, going to Alabama. What it did just in terms of public image and noise surrounding Mike Norvell at Florida State, Dan Lanning at Oregon. Then you've got the opening at Arizona. Jed Fish goes to Washington. Then you've got Brent Brennan going from San Jose State to Arizona. Then you got San Jose hiring the former Navy head coach, and the Navy has to do stuff. Like, it is crazy to just see the coaches bouncing around, and then with what comes after every single one of these new head coaching hires and departures is, okay, this roster now can enter the portal.
Yeah.
This roster can now enter the portal. And that's what we're doing because Nick Saban retired. All of these guys could potentially go to new spots. It really is a crazy world of college football right now.
Yeah, I've sat back. I thought about that a couple times because just like, obviously now everything has happened and you're sitting back and you're like, oh, wow, that's crazy. But in the moment, there was so much going on.
Yeah.
There really was so much going on. And I don't think ASU has taken advantage as maybe the way that we hoped if somebody else had been hired to fill that Alabama role. And obviously we got a lot of talking points about that other school that we got from that. So, you know, it is what it is. We'll weigh that out and call that about even. But if they're able to capitalize like this and add a stud offensive lineman, then that's enough for me. And I mean, there's a chance, man. I will always give Dilly a chance. And I think now that a couple of those dominoes have fallen internally with ASU, big guys that were big recruits and were at a big school like Raleek Brown are already here.
Yeah.
You know, he wouldn't be the first. And a lot of times, it's really hard to be the first.
Yeah.
And then the second, the third, the fourth, the fifth, the sixth, the seventh, the eighth, the ninth, the 10th, that's all easier.
Yeah.
That's all easier.
You're 100% right. Look, getting one of these guys would be an immediate like building block, right?
Yeah.
An immediate person that you look at and you're like, okay, this is something that we build for the future. And I think everybody at home kind of has that same thing, right? They've got their own building blocks that they have from like a family perspective, from a friend perspective, from a career perspective, and then also a trusted banking perspective.
I knew
as well,
Let's
right, guys?
go.
So time to tell you about Desert Financial. They are the official retail banking partner of Arizona State University. And for more than 84 years, Desert Financial has been Arizona's largest, most trusted local credit union, dedicated to creating exceptional experiences by giving back to the community and providing financial solutions that make lives better. Look to Desert Financial for checking and saving accounts, mortgages, loans, credit cards, investment options, and more. They really do have it all. And like we said, they've been doing it for quite some time now, so you know you can trust them. Now is the time to show your ASU team spirit. Open a free checking account online and get $200 plus your choice of 3 Arizona State University Visa debit cards. Go to desertfinancial.com/ASU to get started.
You know, I had a transition, but I'm just so in awe of yours.
You ain't gonna top that one.
That's what I'm saying, right? Like, I pride myself on my transitions, and I saw that one building up, and I saw it earlier.
The building block.
I was like, is he going to do this? So it's like when the ball comes off the bat, and you're like, oh my God, is that a home run?
You stand up, you're like,
oh my God, is that out of the park? And then it is. And you're like,
gone.
oh my God, I saw. Yeah. So the crack of the bat right there, impressive.
It's similar to a jackpot.
Okay, listen, now you're going too far. Okay, don't step on my territory now. Let me tell you about Gila River Resorts and Casinos. We got a lot of people talking in the chat about bonding experiences, ASU players going to hockey games together, all of that. If you want a bonding experience with your friends or your significant other, or you just want to go and have some bonding with yourself personally because it's been a while since you checked in on yourself, might I recommend Gila River Resorts and Casinos, because you do you, and trust me, no one does it better. Nobody does you better than you, and nobody does fun better than Gila River Resorts and Casinos. Authentic, immersive, that's what we talk about, the experience. You got the live table games, the slot machines, the BetMGM sportsbook in different locations, and just overall the vibes, man. Like, you want to go and you want to have fun. You want to go win a little bit of money, or you want to maybe have a little bit of a staycation, right? Totri, you're a hard worker, man. You grind. You put your face in it. You say, I'm going.
Do my best,
You
man.
deserve to treat yourself. A little staycation,
I
right?
love it. I
go
love
by the
it.
pool, one of their many dining options, upscale to approachable. You can do whatever you want at Gila River Resorts and Casinos as long as you're doing you. Visit playatgila.com for more details.
Yeah, Will in the chat. The former Navy coach was years removed from Navy. I believe he is the winningest coach in Navy history. But yeah, he wasn't at Navy at the time of the current hire for him at San Jose State.
That was a world-class ad break, and I just want you guys to know.
Thank you.
I just want to get the props that you deserve.
Thank you. Highly
A little fist bump over that. There we go. Where's Max? Max!
Well, look, we're on the high, and I'm sorry, we're going to have to bring it down low and talk Arizona State basketball here for just a second. If you guys missed it, I totally understand because it just wasn't pretty. But if you did see it, Arizona State basketball, they found a way to lose again. They found a way to lose last night to Stanford in what I, would say was probably a must-win game for Arizona State. They lost 71-62. Let's go ahead, take a look at the numbers, guys, from Desert Financial Credit Union. It is a very unique box score in my mind. Obviously, the only number that matters is that final score, 71-62 in favor of the Cardinal. You look at the way the two teams shot last night from behind the arc, 29% for Stanford, 25% for ASU. Total shooting numbers from the floor, Stanford 43% to ASU's 38%. From the charity stripe, 8 of 13 for the Devils, 13 of 17 for the Cardinal, and then turnovers 14 from Stanford and 11 from ASU. Just a really poor performance in the second half. The Sun Devils getting outscored 42-29. I saw it on social media. A lot of people just begging and pleading for somebody other than Jose Perez to find life in the offense. I know Jemiah had himself a first half. But really, outside of that, it was another rough night for ASU.
I mean, listen, man, this is the difference between box score watching and game watching, right? Because you look at the box score, Jose Perez only had 14 points. Jemiah Neal, Frankie Collins had 12 each. Ace had 10. That's 4 of your 5 starters in double digits. That's not bad. Alonzo Gaffney.
You talk. I've been talking about Alonzo Gaffney for 2 years now. You tell me what you think of Alonzo Gaffney. I'm done doing it. I'm done doing it.
You think I'm going to bring some fresh in your take here?
I just can't do it anymore.
1 for 6 from the field. 0 of 4 from threes. God, please show up in his dreams and tell him to stop shooting threes. It's over. No more of it. I don't want to see a single 3-point attempt from Mini KD again. I can't handle it. Tell him to take it to the frickin' rim with some authority and stop shooting the damn ball from where he can't hit it. I'm done with it. Over. No more. Thank you.
This program hurts me. It's taken years off my life watching Arizona State basketball. Let's go ahead and take a look at the Bobby board, what it looks like following Arizona State's loss to Stanford. I believe Sun Devils now fall to 11-10 on the season. Now they've lost 3 straight, and Erik, they have lost 5 of their last 6.
11-10 overall. They're 500 in the conference, right? I mean, listen. This is what we were talking about when they were playing well, right? And then everybody was like, oh, why are you being so negative? It's like, we're not being negative. We're just being realistic.
Yeah.
Right? Like, this is what happens. They hit their highs, they hit their lows, and then they even out. And it's just, when they lost, and I know that people thought that we were maybe overreacting when they lost to Washington, right? Because they had just won 4 straight, and then they get blown out, and you're like, oh my God, we're seeing it again. And I wanted to give them the benefit of the doubt. It's a close loss to UCLA. Okay, you're losing my benefit of the doubt. Beat the crap out of USC. Oh, that's great. That's all good. Nope, no fight against Oregon. No fight against Oregon State. And then you had some fight against Stanford, but they just dominated you inside, and it just wasn't enough. And now you're looking around. Listen, no tournament.
No.
They're not winning the Pac-12 this year. They're going to end with no Pac-12 tournament titles going into the Big 12. And now this program is going to be completely banking on an entire group of freshmen next year and a harder conference with a coach who just can't seem to get it all together. And I'm not disappointed, though.
You're not disappointed?
No, because this is what I expected. Never once in this entire season did I sit back and go, this team is for real. Any flashes they had, it was almost like a miracle. Like I couldn't believe my eyes when I saw it. And I tried to believe. I tried to hope. I tried to get into it. I tried to talk myself into the 4-headed monster at the top. Nope. It doesn't like I'm stone now. It doesn't affect me anymore.
Let's go pull up the Bobby board one more time. How many wins do you see left on here? Arizona State has what? 10 games left? I'm looking at 4 plus 6. Yeah, 10 games left on the season. Am I doing the math there right, Danielle? I think so. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, that looks like 10.
Yeah, I went to ASU. Give us
okay, so how many more games do they win? Don't be optimistic and don't be negative. Just give me your realistic take here. Because before Oregon State, I said 6. And they lost 2 games that I thought they would win.
There are 2 games. Okay, there are 4 winnable games, and there are 2 of those games that they've actually beat that opponent before.
So the winnable games you're saying are what?
Cal, Oregon State, USC, UCLA.
That's it.
That's it.
Okay, so...
But those are winnable. I would certainly not choose them to win those 4.
Okay, so how many do you think they win?
2.
Which ones? Cal and...
I think Cal and USC again. I'll give them the teams. I think they beat those teams twice. They're going to go against Oregon State.
So they get to 13 wins. That's it.
I guess.
13 wins. Do you know where that would rank for Bobby Hurley in his seasons at Arizona State? Mind you, he's had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 seasons.
That's got to be one of the lower ones, if not the lowest.
13 wins would be the second worst season.
What was the worst?
Arizona State. I'm looking at 2020, 2021 here.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, 3 tops, I think. Like you have 4 winnable games, and you'll probably swap one of those wins out with a really hard game that they shouldn't win, and then they'll lose to like Cal, but they'll somehow beat Oregon.
Yeah.
And it's just I don't know, man. I'm so sick of it.
Bobby Hurley's sweet spot is 15 wins, from what I can tell.
Yeah. I mean, there is a chance like they could win 4 games for the rest of the season, but there's nothing that will move me. Unless you beat U of A. Like, listen, I will be rooting my ass off against U of A. If they beat U of A, I'll be talking an ungodly amount of shit.
They're not beating U of A.
All of that, obviously. But if, because weird things happen, if they do, like that's the only win that I would actually get up over. If they blow out if they blow out Cal, if they blow out Oregon State, if they beat Utah, if they beat Colorado, if they beat Washington or Washington State or whatever, I'm not going to care anymore. Because you want to know what's going to happen? I'm going to go, oh wow, they beat Utah. Oh wow, they beat Colorado. That's great. What's coming up in the next game? Oh, blowout loss. Oh, frustratingly screaming at my TV as Alonzo Gaffney takes a fadeaway 3 and yells, KD. Like, I don't need that in my life anymore.
Glenn brings up a good question. Difference between Dillingham and Hurley, team plays hard even when they lose with Kenny, but not Bobby.
And that's been a theme with Bobby. And listen, you can point at the players all you want, man. And you could say the players need to be better. And obviously, I'm ripping into Alonzo Gaffney. Who's telling him to shoot threes? Who's drawing up the game plan?
It's not him telling him to shoot threes. It's him not telling him not to shoot threes.
Well, but exactly. And when you have somebody who is so incredibly deficient at something for such a long period of time, and as a coach, and here's the thing, if you are stepping in and you're telling him not to do it, and his ass isn't listening to you, you need to put him on the bench.
You're the coach.
You need to take control of your team if that is what's happening. But I don't think it is. I think what's happening is He probably looks good in practice. Probably hit some threes in practice. And he has the archetype where if he can stretch the floor and he can be a 3-level scorer, then this team is so different. But now you're talking yourself into something that doesn't exist. And at what point is the adult in the room, as the veteran coach in the room, do you sit back and you say, hey, Zoe, stop. For your own good, for our own good, stop shooting so many threes. You want to take one and you hit one? Okay, then we'll go from there. You want to take 4 and miss all of them? We can't do that, especially when you actually are effective going to the rim.
I mean,
who's telling him this?
It's full-blown just bad team basketball. This team is shooting 29% from 3 as a team through 21 games. They're averaging 69 points per game. Okay? Nice.
335th.
They are on pace
college basketball,
getting out-rebounded per game by 8 rebounds every game. And offensive rebounds by 4 every game. Their free throw percentage on the season is 65%. They're playing bad basketball. Yes, we can point to one player here, one player there. But overall, this team is just playing bad basketball. It has nothing to do with... It's super easy for us to get sucked into the idea of, oh, this 4-game stretch, this 3-game stretch. But when you're looking at the totality of it, it's been a bad season. They're 11-10. They've lost 5 of their last 6. They are getting out-rebounded every single night. They're shooting awful from behind the arc. This is not a good team right now. This has not been a good team for the majority of the season. And you want to, again, zoom out and talk Arizona State basketball. We're getting back on the carousel of Arizona State basketball is at this point in the season where it's a slump. They're going to probably have a little bit of a heater at some point, go on a 3-game win streak. They're going to end with 15 wins. They'll win maybe a game in Vegas, and then that'll be the season. And we can stop. We can get off the ride and say, hey, remember how that last Pac-12 season went? It went exactly like the last 8.
Let me run you through some numbers. Okay, as far as points per game, they're second to last in the pack, 69 points. That's 20 points lower than the number 1 team, by the way, U of A. But as far as field goals made, they're third to last in the pack at 10th. Field goals attempted, they're up at 8th. So they're down low in made, higher in attempts. Field goal percentage, dead last. Dead last in field goal percentage. 3-pointers made, they're 8th. They're 8th in 3-pointers made. That's great, right? And in attempts, they're 4th. Okay, 4th in attempts, 8th in 3-pointers made. Here's the kicker, 3-point percentage, dead last. 29.7%, dead last by almost 2 percentage points. How about free throws made? They're bottom 3. Free throws attempted. Guess what? Top 5. Top 5 free throws attempted, bottom 3 free throws made. Free throws percentage, second to last. What about
not good, man.
What about offensive rebounds? Second to last. What about defensive rebounds? 8th. Okay, fine. Finally something decent. Okay, overall rebounds, dead last. Dead last. How about assists? Okay, 9th. Fine. Steals? Guess what? The only one that they're actually good. Top 2. They're second in steals. 5th in blocks. And they're second in turnovers. Guys, this is a really bad basketball team. Every single stat that I read, the only ones that were up high were followed by terrible percentage after that.
You know who has, and I'm looking at the team 3-point percentage. I'm looking at everybody, right? Bryson Long leads the team, 77%. Hasn't played in a couple games. Braylon Green shooting 50% from 3. Doesn't take a lot of threes. Jose Perez, 46%. The best current, pretty much active player for Arizona State. Again, shooting 46% from 3. Zane Meeks, who hasn't played in a while because of injury, he's shooting 46%. After that, it's an immediate drop-off to 29% and below. Do you know who, out of the regular players, has the worst 3-point percentage of anybody on the team?
Gaffney.
Who plays regularly?
Gaffney.
It's Alonzo Gaffney.
Yeah.
He shoots 21%.
I did not have to think about that.
He shoots 21% from 3.
See, that's right. This team shoots 29.7%, and he almost shoots 10% worse for that for his average.
And you know who averages the most threes on the
Alonzo
team?
Gaffney.
The second most. He averages the second most. 4.6 threes per game.
Ridiculous.
With Adam Miller averaging the most at 5.8. Frankie Collins shoots 4. Jemiah shoots 4. We're talking about guards. Alonzo Gaffney is taking as many or more threes than the 3 leading guards on the team.
And he's not hitting any of it.
No.
And in a stat correction, by the way, free throw percentage, I said they were second. They're actually tied for last. Them and Utah both are hitting 65% of their free throws. It's a mess. It's an absolute mess. It's always been a mess. Even when it's been good, it's been followed by messes. I'm over it. I'm done. Like, I'm not getting on the carousel next year. I'm not.
You're gonna have to.
I'm gonna stand on the side. I'm gonna watch your ass go around on it, and I'm just gonna be like, "That's a damn shame. That's a damn shame."
I like the circus.
I might just fall asleep on the carousel.
Okay. What do you think about what do you think about the rumors with ASU basketball about potentially getting Muss to Tempe?
Listen, dog.
What do you think? Erik Musselman to Arizona State, next basketball coach. You in, you out. You out.
I'm in. Listen, I've been in the camp of, I understand if you want to give Bobby a shot next year with these freshmen. I'm also in the same camp of, I don't think that's going to work out. So whoever the new AD is when they're hired by 2030, if they'd like to make a move, I'm all for it. I'm all for Muss, man. I'm up for anything. Like, I really am. I'm up for bettering this program because, like you said, ASU has a lot that you can sell on, and maybe money isn't the part of it, but when everything else also is not it's a miracle that they're able to even get this recruiting class that's coming in next year. And like, over under how many years those guys stay, man, I'm setting it at 1. Like, you can't come in and bank on those guys being around for a while unless the stuff actually gets together. The chat wants Muss, man.
I want Muss.
But why would Muss come here?
Because he was an Arizona State assistant from 2012 to 2013, and he was an associate head coach at ASU from 2013 to 2014.
Okay, does that mean that he wants to come to this program with a bad arena?
Dilly was a GA. Dilly was on the football staff.
Yeah, but he was born and raised here. He was a Sun Devil before he was on the coaching staff. Coming here and coaching 10 years ago for 2 years, and
gets to go run the Big 12. The basketball conference, he gets a change of scenery going from Arkansas to ASU.
I'm not saying there's not some appeal, but like, listen,
some appeal for him.
I'm not saying there's not some appeal, but what I'm saying is, like,
Muss.
I'll put Donald on the case.
Get on the Muss bus, ladies and gentlemen.
Donald, I need you boots on the ground. I need you to go talk to Muss for us and send us a recruiting pitch.
Muss for us. Get on the Muss bus. Where's it going? It's going to Circle K to fill up on some gas, guys.
It was okay.
Circle K, America's thirst shop, Totri's thirst shop, PHNX's thirst shop, guys, and they're helping you save money with their new free membership program every single day called Inner Circle. You guys can save 25 cents per gallon on your first 5 fill-ups, and then they're going to help you save money every single day after that. Save 3 cents per gallon every day, and if that's not enough, get every 6th free on a selection of Circle K products, pizza, coffee, ice cold fountain drinks, and more. I'm always stopping at Circle K, usually twice a day, for energy drinks, Gatorades, and for the amazing snacks and deals that they have. Join Inner Circle for free by downloading the Circle K app today. Terms and conditions apply at participating locations. Just visit CircleK.com for details.
I was not laughing at your ad read. I'd like to make that very clear. I thought that was a wonderful ad read. It was your second best transition of the day.
Wow.
I was laughing at Short Bus's super chat. He says he'll change his name to Muss Bus instead of Short Bus if he comes here. And then he adds, join the Die Hard Discord. It's U of A free because they're pores. Which I don't know about that, but
because of their face pores.
Let's just say if you are a little cash strung out, or you're looking to maybe get some free money, boy oh boy, do I have the app for you.
Boy,
and those
oh boy,
are our friends over at BetMGM. Not only do they have a great app, they've got some great in-person locations. We were there for a watch party just a couple of days ago for Suns Nets. It was a great turnout, all the odds on the screens, and I saw some stuff that Shane would love on the bottom ticker. I'm talking like the Evansville purple streaks or something like that against
Evansville
UNC
purple
Ashland.
streaks.
Like, I'm talking
actually hit a lay
stuff.
I hit a lay on BetMGM last night.
I did. I
took Lakers money line
Okay.
after they were up like 15 on the Celtics. You could still get it at plus money.
Okay.
Austin
Really?
Reeves. Oh yeah, because LeBron and AD were out.
Yeah.
So Austin Reeves decided that he was gonna do his best Steph Curry impression and go for 30. So I bet on Lakers money line, and I parlayed it with little Utah Jazz same game parlay, and it cashed. It was beautiful.
Mr. Betts over here. This guy even took over for Betts the other day.
Yeah, I did.
Well.
And it's funny because I picked Celtics minus 14.5.
Hey, that's what we call a hedge. And if you'd like to hedge, you can check out the BetMGM Sportsbook app. I do want to something fun that has been brought to my attention as the Super Bowl comes up, because if you put $5 down on any bet, a $5 deposit for first-time users, you're going to get $158 for free. So the same amount that took Short Bus to Super Chat, he can get $158 free. Obviously, the 58 is, of course, for Super Bowl 58, and they have some fun props. I would like to run through Totri and get your pick.
Okay, I got you.
I'm trying to find it here, and I'm lost right now. Here we go. Okay,
you need a map.
Here are some odds for what BetMGM thinks Usher will play first.
Oh, I saw this
during the Super Bowl halftime show.
Easy answer. Easy answer for sure.
Yeah is at plus 225.
Nope.
My Way also at plus 225. DJ Got Us Falling in Love plus 500.
Nope.
Love in the Club plus 600. Nope. OMG plus 800. Okay, so that's your pick.
Oh my God. That's what we're coming out to. You kidding me?
You think so?
Yeah, absolutely.
I feel like it's going to be the top odds. I think it's going to be
Okay. How about we make a little wager, just you and me?
Just me and you?
Yeah.
Okay.
Loser has to dress like Usher the following day.
Sure. Whatever that means. I don't know if I own any clothes that Usher would own, but
I'll bring you a leather jacket, some sunglasses.
And if he doesn't do either of those songs,
loser
we both
gets
have
their ears pierced.
Okay. Yeah, no fucking chance. No, I'll wear the Speedo before I get my ears pierced, buddy. Listen, if you want to make some bets of your own and not stupid ones between two co-hosts on a show, you can go over to BetMGM. Use the BetMGM Sportsbook app. Use code PHNX. Deposit $5 for first-time users. You will receive $158 instantly in additional winnings, regardless of your wager's outcome, win or loss. Check out the show notes for full details, and now listen to our boy Damon talk about the disclaimer.
Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Available in the U.S. Call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467-369 New York. Call 1-800-327-5050 Massachusetts. 21 plus to wager. Please gamble responsibly. Call 1-800-NEXT-STEP Arizona. 1-800-BETS-OFF Iowa. 1-800-270-7117 for confidential help Michigan. 1-800-981-0023 Puerto Rico in partnership with Kansas Crossing Casino and Hotel. Visit BetMGM.com for terms. This promotional offer is not available in New York, Nevada, Ontario, or Puerto Rico.
Love it. Absolutely love it. But it is Friday. Okay?
It is.
And we kind of did it right there, getting off the rails a little bit, but it is time for Hot or Not. If you're new here, guys, Hot or Not is a segment we do every single Friday. Danielle is going to give us 3 topics, and we're just pretty much going to say if they're hot or not. Maybe argument will stem from that time and again. So let us know in the chat what you think of these topics as well. But Danielle, who's been hot this week in the office?
Well, she's not in the office. Who's been hot at PHNX, I think, is Leah Merrill.
Okay.
Who is out there rubbing elbows with celebrities at the NHL All-Star game in Toronto. So Leah Merrill is hot. Yeah, she was talking on the show yesterday about talking to Michael Bublé and Justin Bieber.
You see Bublé was microdosing shrooms.
Heck yeah.
We got to link Bublé and Plumber.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
We got to get those two in the same room.
That's crazy to just be sitting up there and in front of and doing media and being like, yeah. So my buddy, he said these were microdose shrooms. They're not. That's a crazy thing to just say. You know how rich and famous you got to be,
dude, right?
To say that and not care about any sort of repercussions?
I was just about to say, do you know how much power you have to sit up at the NHL All-Star game and be like, I'm tripping balls right now.
I'm tripping on shrooms, dude. What are you going to do about it?
Oh yeah, listen, I need Jake Plummer and Michael Bublé to link, and maybe PHNX. Now that we have Leah's connection, maybe we can link those guys together
to a shroom show.
Yeah, I think that would be a fun time. Are shrooms one of your topics?
No.
Okay.
I'm gonna say if I were to meet Michael Bublé, I'd probably die.
Yeah. Bublé.
Yeah, I'm a big Bublé fan.
You're a Bublever? Is that what they call the fans?
Sure.
Instead of believers.
Sure.
So on that note, who's ugly at PHNX? Who's not hot?
I'm covering my face.
Who is not hot? It's definitely me.
You're not hot?
I'm gonna give it to me this week because I'm not feeling it, man. I'm pretty sick.
Sometimes it'd be like that, though.
I'm not feeling great.
It'd be like that,
so it's definitely gonna be me.
How you doing,
over here? Petey's a little off.
Yeah.
Petey is not happy that Danielle just said she was sick.
Do you guys know how germs work?
No, please inform me.
You want to teach us about germs?
Peanut pigeons. You're sick.
Love it. Hi, Danielle. What's our first topic?
All right, first topic.
Over-the-counter meds.
Over-the-counter med. How do we feel about Dayquil? because I love it.
Is that what our topic is?
That's not actually what it is. Today is Groundhog's Day.
Hell yeah, it is.
And I always forget about it, but then everybody was talking about it in my class this morning. So Groundhog's Day, hot or not?
You go.
Well, I just got flipped off by Jacob Franklin, and I'm honestly not sure why. So that wasn't hot. I honestly, Punxsutawney Phil, he's hot. Groundhog's Day, not hot. I don't care.
Why is it not hot? Why do you hate groundhogs?
I just don't care.
Why do you hate groundhogs?
I don't hate groundhogs. You didn't ask me if groundhogs were hot or not. You asked me if Groundhog Day was hot or not.
So you don't think groundhogs deserve their own day?
No.
Why not? Well, what do you got against them hogs?
I think that we should celebrate them every day.
I had this conversation with Derek a while back, and it was mid MLB season, and I don't think he got enough respect. Okay, so I'm gonna ask it again, and I asked it in the context of a guinea pig. Is a guinea pig a hog, right? Because it's a pig, right? It's in the name. So is a groundhog a hog?
No.
Whoa.
It's a rodent.
Yeah, I don't think so, bud.
What makes it a rodent versus a hog?
Do we want to get into
science?
Like
what
etymology?
about science? Why is it called a groundhog?
To be fair, he would know about rodents.
Why is it called a hog then?
That's just how names work.
No, it's not.
Yeah.
No, it's not how names work. I can call Erik a giraffe. It doesn't make him a giraffe.
I'm wondering if there was a reason for that.
Jacob, I can call Jacob a giraffe.
I do. My neck can get pretty long. That looks pretty long. So
I don't know. I'm a big. Maybe it's the OGs. Maybe it's the Flavoring Friday talking to me a little bit. But I just feel like that conversation doesn't get talked about enough. We can't just let people.
We don't talk about that enough.
We don't talk enough about the fact that it's a groundhog. So let's call it a hog.
If you want to call it a hog, you can call it a hog.
Groundhog Day is not hot. It's a stupid.
Wait, you were coming at me for saying that it wasn't hot. You were grilling my ass.
I was.
And you're just gonna jump on the bandwagon?
To see if you could defend yourself.
Oh,
that's all.
Stop. That's not hot.
I'm pushing you to be the best version of yourself day in and day out. Okay. So when it comes to Groundhog Day, it's not hot. But you know what is hot? The memes that have come out on social media and the hype videos surrounding Groundhog Day. That is absolutely electric. That is burning hot.
That's fair.
But yeah, groundhog, it's a hog. I'm standing on business with that. What's topic number 2?
That's a weird hill to die on, Totri.
Yeah, it's okay.
That's a really weird one. But you know what? I respect it. Okay. So next one is a little bit of a contentious topic between me and my brother. We love going to concerts. I am a big set list before the show person.
Ooh.
He is absolutely not. So looking at the set list before a show, hot or not?
Well, am I under the influence for the show?
What is your baseline for the show?
Totri,
what is
that's
a typical
a personal question? You have
I need to know because it changes my answer.
Then give us both.
If I'm under the influence, then I do not want a set list because regardless, I'm going to be super surprised and enjoy it regardless. If I'm sober, then I will probably end up looking up the set list. But I feel like it's cheating. I feel like it's cheating the experience.
This might be my strongest hot or not take. Absolutely not.
Okay, I can live with that.
Do not look. I can't do it. If it's for you personally, that's fine. For me, when I'm going to a concert, sober or not sober, usually not sober.
Valid.
I like to be in the moment, and if I'm going in expecting things or thinking about things, I'm not just going to be where I am right there. I'm just trying to be there, and I like to be surprised. Plus,
Erik Ruby, big live in the moment guy.
I try when I'm at a concert. I try when I'm like living my normal life.
You strike me as a man who loves like Hallmark gift cards, or the not gift cards, but the greeting cards. You know what I'm talking about?
I know what you're talking about, but you are talking complete what? What? I like Hallmark cards.
Yeah. You just said
I like
live
to
in
live
the moment, right? Yeah. You also strike me as somebody like that has like faith family football like assigned somewhere in your house. Whether it's football, basketball, anything. I don't know. You just strike me as like a cheesy sign guy.
No.
Hallmark, no?
No.
Are you just maybe I'm just saying you're cheesy.
I mean, I am cheesy. I am corny and I am cheesy, but not with my decor. or with my gift giving or anything like
family
that.
Football kind of guy?
No, if you walk into my house, the last thing that you would see is a Faith Family Football sign, because that type of decoration is just not flying at Casa
Or like a
Ruby.
little bathroom sign right above your toilet. It
Like
says
live, laugh, love.
No. Be a sweetie, wipe the CD. You seen that?
Yeah, I mean, I've seen that. I don't have that. I'm sorry. And finally, me and Donald are on the same page. He says that you just got to live in the moment. And listen, I get wanting to know.
Short bus.
I get wanting to know. Short bus says I use a set list before every show. Like I get it, guys. But for me personally, it takes away. It takes away like from the moment. And if I'm paying a lot of money for concert tickets and fees and processing and online convenience and all that,
yeah,
I'm trying to just go and be there. And Jacob is lingering menacingly, and I don't know why. And I want to know if he has like, are you like just not liking our hot or not takes? Like just listening. Okay.
Yeah, Mac just
Really?
said I am big.
Oh, God.
I like knowing what's coming. I really like knowing like after this song I can get super hyped. Is my favorite one. I did go to a show where they didn't have a set list. Like the Red Hot Chili Peppers, they just go up and jam for 2 hours.
Good.
Can I tell you guys, I'm so distracted right now. It's such bad news. Doesn't have to do anything with football.
I saw it, and it completely ruined my day.
It's ruined my day entirely. Carl Weathers, who played Apollo Creed in the Rocky movies, has passed away. That's crazy.
Damn.
That's so tough.
That's
dude.
not hot.
He was so good in The Mandalorian too.
Damn,
man, this really ruined my day.
He's such a great actor. Apollo Creed was such a great character. Damn, that's so tough.
Well, I don't know how to transition out of that.
Well, back to it. Yeah, I don't, man. Okay, so this last one, all three of us were in the office for this. Got a little contentious with the Suns crew, as it tends to get. Apparently, Flex doesn't like tacos.
That's just this bad take.
He's never had a taco.
Do you not like air?
He was talking about crunchy tacos.
He's never had a taco.
But he says he likes crunchy tacos.
No, crunchy tacos
suck. And it turned into a whole thing. So crunchy tacos, hot or not?
Again, am I drunk or am I sober?
What are you right now?
You can give both answers.
That's a valid question. I'm sober right now.
So how do you feel about crunchy tacos?
Really?
Yeah, I am. I told you I was a little delusional. My mind's been running all over the place today. Crunchy tacos. I don't like crunchy tacos. When I was a fat little kid, yeah, absolutely. I fucked with crunchy tacos. But as I've developed into a short man, I'm not giant. Shut up, Michaela. I'm just not huge on crunchy tacos. They're mid.
I like them.
Of course you do.
What the fuck does that mean?
Goes with your Hallmark cards and your
Hallmark card,
guy.
crunchy taco kind of guy.
Yeah.
Speedo guy. It's okay.
I'm not a
That is
Speedo
fair.
guy.
He is a Speedo guy.
No, you look like I'd show up to your house and you're like, oh, it's Taco Tuesday. I'm coming over. You definitely have white people tacos.
That's fair. That's fair. If I'm making tacos, they're probably white people tacos. If I'm going out and buying tacos, they're not white people tacos. Like I like both. I like soft and hard tacos. I would eat both on the same plate if I could. I don't discriminate like that.
That's just it blows my mind.
We're lucky we don't have the producer's timeout on this this studio. Yeah, because I'd be putting both of you in it.
Damn it.
Traditional place would not serve crunchy tacos.
Oh, I would also be giving it to Jacob Franklin. So here's the thing. I get that like most people, like most crunchy tacos are not, right? Are not
they're not hot.
They're not authentic, whatever. Listen, my family is from Sonora. In Sonora, in norteño style food, Sonoran style Mexican food, that's how we do it. It's crunchy tacos. That's how I grew up with
Why
it.
am I getting put in timeout?
So because everybody was saying like these aren't authentic. Okay, but like
I didn't say they're not authentic.
kind of
I
are.
said I don't like them. I said I like them. I'm agreeing with you. Why am I being put in timeout?
Now. The Doritos Locos Taco?
That's not taco.
No.
Get out of here.
That's the only
Listen.
time I'll have a hard one. When my taco tastes like a Dorito. No pause.
Clip it.
Also, I said pause about something earlier, and you definitely didn't react to it. Yeah.
No, I have no idea.
Yeah.
I don't even remember you saying
said,
that. I think I blacked out.
Should I say it again?
Yes.
Yeah, you said something along the lines of pour it into him for something, and I
because
said
I was like,
pause.
if Kenny pours into him.
Yeah, there you go. Pause again.
Nah, yours is way worse than that.
That's all we got for Hot or Not. Guys, hit that like button. Hit that subscribe button. Head over to gophnx.com today. Become a diehard, and you're going to unlock a bunch of shenanigans. Not just with us over here on the ASU show, but with the Coyotes, the Diamondbacks, the Cardinals, and everybody here at PHNX. Not only are you going to get access to that diehard Discord, you're going to get exclusive content, discount on merch, events, and all things PHNX. So like I said, head over to gophnx.com today. Give us a follow on social at PHNX _Sun Devils. You can follow me at Anthony _Totri. You can follow Erik at Erik Ruby. That is Erik with a K on social. You can follow DJ Danielle at Abracadanielle. And guys, that is going to do it for today's show. We will be back on Monday. But in the meantime, have a great weekend. Go Devils and peace.
We all silly like the mayor.